The Champion's Champion celebrating the championship is the champ of Royal Champion skins this champion season. Sorry, I had to. At first I thought this champion skin was kind of average, but now that I look at it more, I think she's a bit above average. She's the only gold pass skin out of the entire champion set, so theoretically she's not gonna be as good as those other skins, but let's compare them and see what the difference is. As far as selection, the King's selection animation is pretty simple. He just does this thing with his fist, and then he goes to his idol animation, nothing special. The Queen's is a bit more elaborate. She points her bow to both sides and then kind of looks around for a few seconds, looks down at her bow, and then does her idle animation. Again, nothing amazing. The Warden's is way more elaborate, where he flies all around and then he lands on the ground and summons his orb, which floats above his hand. Definitely better than the King and Queen. But I would say that the Champion's Champion has the best animation out of all of them. She's moving around way more. I think it even lasts longer than most of them. The Queen's animation probably lasts the longest, but I like the Champion's way more. So for me, she definitely wins the selection animation. I want to try something with the pose animations. I'm just going to click them all in a row and see which one stands out the most for me. So once the King and Queen move apart, we'll go all around and click all of them. I missed the Warden. Okay, so the Warden definitely caught my eye the most. So the King's is pretty basic. He waves his sword around. The Queen points her bow up in the air. Again, very basic. The Warden, he throws his staff up in the air. The ball spins, his staff spins. The Champion, she taps her shield and then does a huge spin and then raises her spear. Let's see the Grand Warden set the ground. Okay, that one's a lot more basic. So if we're going based on ground, the Champion 100% wins. But if we're going based on the Warden's air pose, he definitely wins this round. Now this is something I saw people complaining about on Reddit. Their deployment animations, all the legendaries have a fire effect when you deploy them, but the Champion, not being a legendary, doesn't have all the visual effects that they have. So definitely for deployment, the legendary skins win. Let's see about ability. When the King uses his ability, it's pretty basic, but he spawns custom troops. The Queen as well. Hers, she doesn't really do anything, but she spawns the epic custom troops. The Warden's ability, he has a little bubble that a lot of gold pass skins don't have, but again, they're all pretty basic. We gotta play this again to watch the Royal Champion's ability. I'm pretty sure hers is pretty simple. Let's see. So it looks like she does a little spin, some glowing animations. I don't think anyone is a clear winner here. I would have to say that the King's is probably the best. His caught my eye the most. He spawns the epic custom barbarians and he has the custom visual effects. Let's see about the hero's attacking animation. So when the King attacks, I actually love his visual effects. There's a cross of fire when he hits the building. He holds his sword up in the air before he attacks, and then he does a wide swing, and he also punches the buildings once in a while. Let's test out the Queen. We'll put her over here on the right side. So when she shoots, obviously she shoots the flaming arrows. It is a pretty standard animation. I mean, I don't know what else I would expect from that. Let's test out Warden. His air seems to be the most elaborate, so we're gonna do air. Again, this is pretty simple. He's just swinging his staff. Let's test hers. She throws the spear. That's super simple. I mean, I would say the King definitely wins this round. Let's test walking really quick. First, the King skin. He has a pretty standard walking animation. The Queen, again, very standard. Let's see if anyone has anything super unique. The Warden has nothing unique on air. Let's test his ground. This one I like actually more than his air. Okay, this one again is very standard. I don't think there's a clear winner. If any, I would say the Warden when he set the ground. Next, we're gonna test knockout. Let's just deploy all the heroes on each corner. It looks like the Champion's about to go down first, and her, we can't really see, but we can tell that it's a very simple knockout animation, very little movement. Looks like our Queen just went down. Again, this one, very little movement, very basic animation. Looks like our King went down. This one has a little bit more movement, and I like how his sword is laying next to him smoking, so he's definitely the best so far. And the Warden over here with the ball floating around his head, that's definitely better than the others. Let's just test the Warden's air knockout animation real quick. So his air animation, he's floating on his ball, a bit more movement than the other heroes, but I think the Warden's ground knockout is definitely the winner here. Finally, we'll just test the resting animations. Every one of these is very simple. Let's quickly test the Warden's air mode. Yeah, these are all super simple. I would say the King or Champion probably win because they have those visual effects. Let me know which one you think would win in the comments, because right here, there's no clear winner for me. So the Warden won the most out of all those rounds, but the Champion did have a real fighting chance. A lot of her animations, sound effects, and visual effects were better than the legendary skins. I think design is always the biggest factor when determining whether you like a skin or not. I personally really like the Champion's Champion design. I was surprised by the champion shield, but I really like it. I was expecting more of a circular shield like all her other ones, but I like the shape of this one. A lot of people don't like the design of her spear. I'm not the biggest fan. I think they could have just made it look more like a spear. Other than that, the only criticisms would be little nitpicky criticisms. So this design, in my opinion, is excellent. I love the selection animation. It's very dynamic, lots of movement, and the sparkling all over her armor is unique to the champion. The other champion skins do not have that effect. Her pose is pretty basic. My favorite part is definitely the part where she jumps at the end. Everything else, like her walking, attacking, and ability, they're all very standard. Almost no difference between these and the default champion. If we're looking at this skin objectively with the amount of effects and animation, she actually is able to compete with a lot of legendary skins and other gold pass skins. And another thing to consider is she has a constant visual effect on her spear and the sparkles all around her. And if you consider those effects unique throughout all her animations, then she has a ton of visual effects. But I just consider that one single visual effect. For the price, this skin is 100% worth it. And next year, she's going to be here for free. Well, hopefully. Clash of Clans did say this in their video.
Only one team will claim the trophy. Only one chance to claim the champion's champion.
But I'm thinking that's similar to what they say about their sceneries and offers in the shop, where it says this is an exclusive, like limited time offer or something, but it actually does come back next year. So when this skin comes back in the shop next year, it's gonna be free for gems. So if you love this skin, 100% worth it. And before you leave, make sure to click the subscribe button.